Today on an all-new Dr. Phil.
I prepared myself to lose my wife.
An eating disorder.
I know that I need to gain weight. Doing it is what terrifies me.
Is taking over their lives.
Do you love your children?
I would die for my children.
Are you willing to live for them?
Plus, Kelly Cutrone tries to talk sense.
I'm considering becoming an escort.
Into a struggling single mom.
I wouldn't have to sleep with anybody.
I don't know one guy who wants to pay $1,000 just to talk to a woman. Do you?
This is going to be a changing day in your life.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
It matters to you. That's what I want to talk about. Are we ready in the booth? Let's do it. Go, Dr. Phil. Well, I want you to meet Jennifer and Jennifer, who have much more in common than just the same name. Not only are both of these women a mother to 3 children, one is presently living a self-destructive existence, while the other is seriously contemplating one. 25-year-old Jennifer has what many women want, a devoted husband, and these 3 beautiful children. But she spends her days starving and purging, down to the bare bones weight of 78 pounds. Now, how did this once seemingly happy mother of 3 end up like this? Here's her story.
I feel like my wife is wasting away before my eyes.
Right now it says 78. The eating disorder definitely has power over me. All my clothes are too big for me. These pants are a size 2. As you can see, they are huge.
The Jennifer I know now is not the woman I married. When I look at our wedding photos, I cherish that picture because that's the last really good memory of her in her healthy state that I have.
I actually like those pictures. I do think I look healthy. I do think I look pretty. It makes me sad that I'm not that way.
Jennifer and I haven't been intimate in over a year. I leave the room when my wife gets undressed so I won't have to see her body.
This is where I sleep. I don't sleep in the bedroom. The bed hurts me because I'm so bony.
My oldest daughter, Evie, knows that something's wrong with her mom. She says that I have the skinniest mommy in school. You always want your kids to end up like you, but I don't want any of my kids to take this trait from you.
I mean, I don't either. I mean, that's the last thing I want. It's just gone on too long. I have 3 kids. I have a family now, and I want to get better for them.
I'm 26, and I feel like I'm already planning my wife's death.
Well, Chris and Jennifer, please come on out. Chris, if you would have a seat right there. Jennifer, you come with me.
Okay.
I want you to do something for me. This is just a perception check. I want you to take a look at this picture and tell me what you see. Tell me what your perception is. And be honest.
I mean, I see a bony person, and I really do see that. That picture was taken last night, and I do see a bony person, but I know that when I was looking in the mirror before that picture was taken, that is not at all what I see.
And so what do you see?
I see wideness. I do see the bones on my collarbones. I do see those, but I don't. I mean, it just doesn't look like
you
that.
see wideness here.
Yes, very wide.
Here? Mm-hmm. And that's offensive to you? Mm-hmm. You think it's what?
I just think it's gross.
You think it's gross? Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. And so...
I mean, I think my arms look kind of big right there.
You think your arms look kind of big?
Mm-hmm.
Show me where you think they look kind of big.
Like right here.
Like right in there?
Mm-hmm.
So you would... Does this one look better to you here?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that fullness there you think is what? You think it's gross?
Yeah, I think it looks large and kind of fat.
Unattractive? Mm-hmm. Okay. How about the legs, the knees, and the...
I do think my legs look bony and small. They do look small to me.
Okay. All right, so, but what jumps out at you is the broadness in the hips and the heavy arms. Okay, all right, just a perception check. So, if you would, have a seat right here. Sorry to leave you sitting here for a minute, but I kind of wanted to do a perception check on what she sees at this particular moment in time. Now, Jennifer claims to do 9,000 crunches a day in blocks of 500. Take a look.
My life pretty much revolves around me being able to do my crunches. I do at least 500 at one time. It has to be in sets of 500, 500, 1,000, 1,500.
Jennifer's obsession with crunches isn't your average exercise. She does 1,000 to a couple thousand crunches a day. And she's even been told by doctors the last thing she needs is any physical exercise or activity.
I have to do at least 9,000 for the whole day or I don't feel right. I quit counting after 9,000, but I at least have to do 9,000. And then whatever extra, I feel happy if there's any extra.
I constantly have to look at my stomach while I do my crunches, and I have to feel my hand around my arms, because if I can't, it makes me feel like I'm gaining weight, and that freaks me out.
We're going to talk about you like you're not here for a minute, okay?
Okay.
Tell me where you come down on this. How concerned are you about this? What are your feelings about, we're talking about not only your wife, but the mother of these children.
Yeah, I feel like, and I know y'all saw in the video, I really prepared myself to lose my wife. And I know I've enabled her to do this. But I don't want my kids to, I mean, it's awful to say you don't want your kids to turn out like you or your wife, but at this point, I don't want my kids to reflect what Jennifer looks like or what she does, and it's tearing me up to know that I might lose her sooner than later.
You believe they could actually be losing their mother?
Yeah. I think if she keeps on like she is, that she's going to be gone a lot sooner than later.
And what have you done about it? You say you think you're enabling her. What do you mean?
I turn my head when she gets undressed or gets in the shower. I tend to hide from that, go out of the room. I've never really put my foot down or tried to do anything about this other than a few months ago I caught her about 2:30 in the morning doing crunches, and that's when that was the end of it. I told her by January 1st she had to show some improvement or I was going to do everything I could to get her some help.
Now, you believed her when she actually convinced you and the family not to bring her to rehab because she said she would get well on her own. You believed her?
Yeah.
This has been going on since you were how old?
Well, it first started when I was 11. That was the first time I started starving myself.
And you were involved with bulimia as well. You were storing bags of vomit under your bed at 12. Do you have any idea why this started with you?
I remember the day before I started starving myself, I had a friend basically tell me I was fat, and that just set it in stone like that I was going to do something about it.
What do you think I'm going to say to you today?
I don't really know, but I want you to be blunt and honest. I want the truth. I want to know what you really feel about how bad I've let this get. Like, because I know that I'm at a bad point.
Well, what do you think? You think it's bad?
Oh, I think it's really bad. I mean,
you think you could die?
Yes, I do think I could die.
You think you're putting your own interest ahead of your children?
I definitely am.
So you think you're neglecting and cheating them out of their mother?
Yes, very much.
And your husband, you think you're neglecting and cheating him out of his wife? And you think you've let her down because you should have stepped in, put your foot down, fix this, right?
Yeah, but at the same time, I felt like...
He couldn't, though. Nobody can talk to me about this.
I'm talking to him.
Okay, sorry.
Go ahead.
Yeah,
I know you like to control things.
Yeah,
and that's a big issue here, isn't it? You like to be in control. Okay.
Yes, definitely.
But I'm curious. You go ahead.
With 3 kids, the last thing I want is a constant argument or us two not getting along because of this.
And we're going to talk about what needs to happen if these children don't have burying their mother in their very near future when we come back. come on. How selfish is it that you would put your own interest and the superficial focus on your body ahead of your duty as a mother? How dare you be a model to these children? And later,
They left there thinking, oh my God, what's their Christmas going to be like? Oh my God, like, what if she loses her home? It was so upsetting.
and that's your fear.
Exactly.
I mean, she feels your pain.
My relationship with food is definitely a love-hate. I have a lot of food rituals. I have to cut my carrots a certain way. I have to put them in this bowl. I have to cut my peppers a certain way also. I just like for them to be a certain size. I will cook my stir-fry on this pan. It has to be this pan. And this right here will last me 3 days. I split it up into 3 equal parts, and I'll cook it. I eat this meal every day. This is what I eat. Nothing else. I go to bed, and we start all over again the next day.
There are a lot of people right now that are watching this that you know are judging you, right?
Oh, yeah.
There are a lot of people saying, hey, lady, get over yourself. I mean, come on. How selfish is it that you would put your own interest and the superficial focus on your body ahead of your duty as a mother? How dare you be a model to these children where you model deprivation, where you model the kind of things that they're likely to emulate, which is an eating disorder that can affect them. How dare you do that? That's what a lot of people are thinking as they watch this. You said you wanted some blunt truth from me.
Yes.
And here it is. If you continue on the route that you're on now, the likelihood is that you are going to die. Anorexia has the highest mortality rate of any mental illness that we know.
I know that I need to gain weight. It's just doing it is what terrifies me. Like not being able to exercise and having to gain weight. I feel like it's just going to all be blobbish. I mean, I don't know. Like, I know everything that I say probably sounds crazy to people.
No, it doesn't sound crazy to me at all. I want you to understand I get it. And I understand that for you, gaining weight is terrifying.
Very much.
I get that intellectually you understand it doesn't make sense, but emotionally, behaviorally, ritualistically, you're in. But my question for you is this focus consistent with the other values in your life? Do you love your children?
Very much. I mean, I love my children very much.
Do you really want them to have a healthy and happy life?
Yes. That's why, I mean, I don't know, like this is the first time I've ever, I mean, I need help, and I know that I do, because I want to be there for my children. I'm not there for them like I need to be now.
Okay, so you understand that that's not fair to them.
No, it's not fair at all.
So this focus that you have on your body image is not consistent with your other values.
I guess not. I mean, it's more important to me, I would say.
Okay,
at this point.
and that's what I want to. That's what I'm asking you. Do you get how that's not? You say you love your children. Would you die for your children?
Yes, yes, I would die for my children.
I mean, if a train was coming, they were in the track. Would you
Yes.
push them out of the way and take
Yes,
the hit?
I would jump in front
You
of
would
it.
die for your children. Are you willing to live for them?
Yes, that's why.
I mean, are you? I mean, think about what that means. What it means is
It means
these children deserve a fully functioning mother. They deserve a mother who doesn't measure her self-worth as a function of her weight and her body mass. When we come back, we're going to talk about what her future looks like if she keeps this up and what I think she needs to do to change it. And then I've got a real question about whether she's ready or she's just saying she is because she needs to. We'll be right back.
I want my daughter back. I miss her so.
What do you want to say to your mother? And later,
It's got to. I know that it's got to. I've got to make these changes. I've got to, or I'm going to die. I do not want to die. I want to be there for my children. I want to watch them grow up. They need me.
I believe Jennifer was told last year that her heart was really weak to a point to where they thought her organs were going to shut down. I know that her body's run down, and I fear daily while I'm at work that she's going to collapse because the way she's living, I don't see as how she can make it much longer. I've already thought what I could do with the kids during the day, where they could stay. So I have, in a way, already mentally prepared myself to lose Jennifer.
Well, I'm here with Chris and Jennifer. Jennifer weighs 78 pounds and still sees herself as needing to lose weight and lives in a constant fear that she's going to get fat, that she's going to gain weight. Now, joining us on the phone is Darlene, who's Jennifer's mother. Darlene, you've been listening to what we've been talking about, true?
True.
What'd you want to say?
Well, I'm shocked to hear everything that goes on in her day. I'm heartbroken, and I don't want her to die. I don't want those precious children to have to grow without their mom. And I want my daughter back. I miss her so.
What'd you want to say to your mother?
Well, I really hate that you had to hear all that today. But, Mama, I mean, I'm ready to be back. I want to be back. Like, I wouldn't be telling y'all all this if I wasn't. And I'm sorry.
You got to be ready.
See, one of the things I want you to realize is a lot of this is about control, right?
Oh, I know.
Kelly Cutrone is here, and she is a special contributor to the show, and she's author of a great book, by the way. It's entitled, If You Have to Cry, Go Outside, and Other Things Your Mother Never Told You. You work a lot in the fashion industry, true?
True.
You realize we push these images on people about what's okay and what's not.
There's certainly a pursuit of perfection that's encouraged in young women.
And you've seen these models that are anorexic and bulimic, and it goes badly for them, true?
It definitely goes badly. I've seen girls pass out backstage from not eating, and guys as well, oddly enough. And also, you know, I've been involved with fashion weeks where a model has died just backstage, just because they believe they need to be super beautiful and super thin, and it's a hamster wheel, and then you can't get off.
And do you get that that's a real outcome?
Yes.
And do you get that when you do that, your husband, your mother, Darlene, your children, they're all left with a huge hole? There's 4 stages of readiness, and you guys will all know this if you've tried to stop smoking or go on a diet. Stage 1 is you do it because you're compelled by authority. I mean, you're just doing it because it's like court ordered or your parents make you do it or whatever. Stage 2 is you're compelled to escape criticism. So, okay, I'll quit smoking. All right, I'll gain some weight or I'll do whatever. Stage 3 is you're intellectually aware of a need for change, but that's it. And stage 4 is you're mentally and emotionally self-motivated for change. Where do you put yourself on that?
I think I'm at stage 4, and the reason I say that is for the past month or month and a half, I have been going back and forth in my head about wanting to sit my family down, my family being like my husband, my mom, my dad, his mom, his dad. I wanted to sit them down after Christmas and tell them that I cannot do this on my own. I'm sick and tired of my life revolving around this eating disorder and that I need professional help. And he went on a hunting trip back in the beginning of November, and something told me to go to your website and just to look at it. I was going to look at some of your resources on some of your previous stories about girls with anorexia just to see if there was anything I could have, you know, when I do sit my family down. And there just happened to be something running across the top that said, do you have an eating disorder? And I said, okay, this is a sign. I've got to write to him. So I did. And I just never thought anything would come of it. But I just feel like everything's happening like it's supposed to. And I've never been this honest about the things I do. Like, I think that if I wasn't really ready, I wouldn't be here letting him know about my daily rituals. I wouldn't let my mom hear this. I'm ready. I mean, I'm ready to be in control of my life and not let the eating disorder.
Well, I'm not convinced. I think you're moving in the right direction, but you're telling me...
I am ready.
You're telling me that you seriously are ready to give up some control to other people.
Yes, I mean, there's a big part of me that is scared and terrified that doesn't want to give it up, and it's like, you know, your life's gonna change, but it's got to. I know that it's got to. I've got to make these changes. I've got to, or I'm gonna die. And I do not want to die. I want to be there for my children. I want to watch them grow up. They need me. They need me. And I need to be there for them the way that I'm supposed to be. It scares me to have to give up the way I live my life. It terrifies me, but I know that I've got to.
Because you know I'm like a dog with a bone. And if you tell me that you want to enter this, you're going to have to show me, you're going to have to prove it to me. And I'm going to tell you what, I'm willing to make some resources available to you, but I'm going to tell you what I want you to do. I want you to go home from here, and I want you to wait for 5 days. And if on that 5th day, you're prepared to tell me, yes, I am ready to do this, then I will make those resources available to you.
Okay.
Now, because you say it here, I want to hear it 5 days from now. When you're gone, all these people are gone, lights are gone, everybody's gone, I'm gone, and you tell me that you want to live for yourself and for those children, then I will make those resources available to you.
Okay.
All right, when we come back, we're going to meet the other Jennifer who is contemplating engaging in a controversial act for money. Be right back.
I'm a single mother of 3, and I'm seriously considering becoming an escort. As an escort, I could make about $1,500 a night, and they tell you kind of in so many words that if you want to do more, you can make more.
And later...
I left there thinking, oh my God, what's her Christmas going to be like? Oh my God, like, what if she loses her home? It was so upsetting.
And that's your fear.
Exactly.
I mean, she feels your pain. Well, this is my next guest, Jen, who says she is so desperate for money, she hopes to be wearing these dresses for a new job. You'll see why.
I'm a single mother of 3, and I'm seriously considering becoming an escort. I am currently about $5,000 or $6,000 behind on my mortgage. The foreclosure proceedings are coming any minute, I'm sure of it. I am tired of being broke, and escorting seemed like a pretty quick fix. It's a crazy, crazy idea, but desperate times lead to desperate measures. There's so many requirements: height, weight, looks, hair, eyes. They don't just take anybody. I did research and found some pretty high-end quality escort services where I wouldn't have to sleep with anybody. I could just like be a date. As an escort, I could make about $1,500 a night. And they tell you kind of in so many words that if you want to do more, you can make more. So I was looking through my closet to see what I would wear in the event that I went on an escort date. It seemed kind of exciting. I wouldn't even have to work more than 1 or 2 nights to make more money than I've ever had. This dress makes me feel sexy and stylish and thin. Just about a month ago, I researched it again, only this time, all I could find is like trashy prostitution sites. They want women 18 to 30, and I'm 40. Being an escort and making that kind of money would be the answer to my financial trouble.
Well, here's what Jen's daughter had to say.
I'm Caitlin. I'm currently a sophomore at the University of North Carolina, and I am Jennifer's daughter. I need some help. My mother told me a few weeks back that she was in desperate need of money and she was willing to be an escort. What is she thinking? I know it's tough, but is it that tough? To know that she would lower herself to these men as an escort makes me sick. It's not something I'd be proud of, and it disgusts me.
Why is this so shocking to you?
I just always saw my mom as a strong, independent woman, and knowing that she would throw herself at these men, like I said, it's disgusting. It's lowering her self-respect, and I still don't get why she would ever let herself do this.
We're going to take a break. When we come back, you're going to see what happened when I sent my correspondent, Kelly Catrone, to make a house call to Jen. We'll be right back.
So you guys totally don't even get this. I was never intending.
Well, you don't get it. Sorry, you don't get it. When you go to work as an escort, people don't just want to eat dinner with you. That's what I'm trying to help you with here. My name's Kelly Catrone, and I'm the founder and CEO of People's Revolution, which is a lifestyle public relations firm. I employ over 24 people. I have a daughter named Ava who's 8. Ava's one of our oldest interns at People's.
Yeah!
I'm also a New York Times best-selling author. I know what a publisher is. Do not waste my time. I've become known as being the chick who's going to tell it like it is, and kind of something in between a mentor, the great Santini, and a fairy godmother. What I really want women to realize is that they're super powerful and they have a purpose here on this world that is as individual and authentic as their thumbprint. If all of a sudden you find out you're not happy, the good news is we're not salmon. We don't have to swim upstream every year. Wherever you're at today, if you like it, congratulations. If you don't, you can be somewhere else tomorrow. That's the beauty of being a human being, right? Yes.
Well, single mother and PR maven Kelly Catrone paid a visit to Jen's home.
Hi, I'm Kelly.
Hi, Kelly. Nice to meet you.
This is nice here.
Thank you.
Okay, so seriously, though, I came here from New York to see you as a correspondent for Dr. Phil because you sent them an email about what's going on in your life. And you're a nurse and a single mom.
Yeah.
And, you know, I studied nursing, and I raised a baby by myself. And I just wanted to talk to you about what's going on.
The reason I wrote to Dr. Phil was because I'm 40, and I was thinking by the time I was 40 that I would be a little bit more financially stable. I have a daughter in college, and the tuition is killing me.
You're working as a nurse?
I'm working as a nurse.
Are you an LPN or?
I'm an LPN.
You can make money as a nurse. So have you thought about going back to nursing school?
That's my plan B.
What's your plan A?
Well, right now, I've been trying to figure out what I want to do, and, you know, because I was so desperate and I needed money, that's what made me think of the escort business.
I have a couple questions about this, okay, because I'm also a businesswoman. So what does it look like? You go to work, and what's this guy like? He just wants to talk to you? I don't know one guy who wants to pay $1,000 just to talk to a woman.
Right.
Do you?
No, but I
know
found
a lot
sites
of
where
men.
they claim that that's all, you know, just accompany people. That's what I was looking at.
Like a date, a dinner date.
A total date, yeah.
$1,000 to get a 40-year-old woman to go to dinner with you.
Hey, I know. It sounds...
I mean, I think that you're beautiful, and I think you're amazing, but this does not seem like a good business model. I mean, I don't know anybody, and I do know girls who have done this for a living. None of their lives got better. I don't know one person who said, hey, I did this, and it made a huge difference in my life.
So you guys totally don't even get this. I was never intending.
Well, you don't get it. Sorry, you don't get it. When you go to work as an escort, people don't just want to eat dinner with you. That's what I'm trying to help you with here. That is not what happens. That is what people have to say to you legally, because prostitution is against the law. So I'm in marketing and PR. It's my job to spin things and make things look a certain way. So an escort service has to tell you that there's no sex involved, because if they told you that there was sex involved, then they would be breaking the law and their business would get shut down. I was told that they also even told you if you decide that you want to have sex with them, you can get paid extra money
If you
later.
do more, you get more.
So there are ways to speak that imply certain things, but that is the real deal.
I don't want to be that person. Obviously, I don't. I mean, I have a career, you know? I shouldn't have to even think about it. but I do because I just...
Well, what do you think that you can do to get out of this situation? And why can't the family, like, pitch in? Like, in the olden days, like, if you were over 12 and your family needed money, everybody started to pull their weight.
Right. Would you like to go to the kitchen and have coffee?
Yeah, let's go. All right. Dr. Phil's going to look at these tapes. And what is it that you would like him to know or understand about your situation?
I'm totally scared of the future. I'm scared of losing this house. I'm scared of not being able to eat next week. I'm worried I'll come home and the lights will be shut off.
You know, people believe that when you're dealt a hand of cards that it has to continue that way. It doesn't.
I know.
That's what Dr. Phil can do for you. You can have a life-changing experience. You know, you can just start over.
I would definitely have coffee with Kelly Cutrone again. I was very impressed with her compassion. You know, she's a hard ass, but she's definitely compassionate. She made me think, for sure.
What was your reaction when you left there?
My honest reaction?
Yeah. No, lie to me.
Let me lie to you. My honest reaction was I got into the car and I said to my driver, "You've heard of driving Miss Daisy?" And he said, "Yeah." I said, "This is going to be driving Miss Crazy." And I bawled my eyes out, like for an hour afterward.
Why?
'Cause it was devastating.
What about it?
You know, like, life is like such a fragile thing, you know? So she's a really good mother. I know it's not a good mother to call your daughter who's in college and say, "Hey, I want to become an escort." That's not great role modeling. I'm aware of that. But she had a lot of tragedies in her life, and I spent time with both her sons who were there. And I went to her home, which is a clean home, which is a beautiful home. And it's like, she's like so many people in America right now. And I know from my own experience what it's like when your back is up against a wall. There's a really big fence, and even for you, you can't see over it. And so you start to think of irrational type of decisions. And she really wants the best for her kids. I think she wants too much for them, for what she's able to give. But it was just, I left there thinking, oh my God, what's her Christmas going to be like? Oh my God, like, what if she loses her home? It was so upsetting.
Mm-hmm.
And that's your fear.
Exactly.
I mean, she feels your pain. She gets it.
This job is too tough for me, Dr. Phil. I need to go back to fashion. She's a good mother. I mean, her kids are great. And I told her, I go, you can say goodbye to your daughter. Because if you do this, I looked at you in a picture and I was like, she's never going to speak to you again. Because she's a healthy, self-respecting young woman. And it's a big choice, but there's so many people. It's just like one little thread. And just depending on which way the wind blows is going to be where this family lands.
Did you cross the line in your mind?
I believe I did. I feel like I would do anything to support my kids, keep my house.
Listen, there are a lot of people in America say, hey, you know, I get her. I get that you do things you wouldn't do when you get your back against the wall. It doesn't make you a bad person. It's a teachable moment in your children's lives when they realize you're not always flush, you don't always have money. I'm going to take a break. When you come back, there's a woman who made headlines after being busted for working as an escort for a prostitution ring. She has a few words of caution to anybody that's thinking about crossing that line. We'll be right back.
New York Governor Eliot Spitzer, once known as Mr. Clean, has been linked to a high-priced prostitution ring.
The stunning crash and burn of New York Governor Eliot Spitzer from his alleged illicit sex with a 22-year-old $1,000 an hour prostitute has once more made one politician's private foibles public fodder.
But I've disappointed and failed to live up to the standard I expected of myself.
New revelations that New York Governor Eliot Spitzer may have been soliciting call girls for up to 10 years, spending nearly $100,000.
I've acted in a way that violates my obligations to my family and that violates my or any sense of right and wrong.
Well, I'm here with Kelly Cutrone, Jen, Caitlin, her daughter. You have considered being an escort, but we have someone else here, and it's Ashley Dupree. What were you doing before you decided to become an escort?
I was working at a real estate company, and I was an administrative assistant. And the opportunity came along. I was working 3 jobs. I couldn't pay my rent, couldn't pay my bills. And I was put in a situation. I lived in New York, and, you know, it's the hamster on the wheel that just keeps going around and around, snowball effect. And I got into it, and, you know, it's really hard getting out. I said I was here to help you and give you a little guidance. Kelly's crying, I'm crying. And you said, oh, everybody's ganging up on me. And we're not, we're trying to help you. And then you turned to me and you said, you look familiar. And I have to live with that for the rest of my life, and I'm humiliated. And I have been convicted by our society of a social crime. And I think in a way that's worse than if I would have had to pay the fine and go to jail, because this is something that my future husband, my future children are going to have to live with, and I'm going to have to explain to them. And it's never going to go away. I never thought that I would end up on the front pages of every newspaper across the world, you know? And this has an effect on Caitlin and your sons. And I made the worst mistakes between the ages of 17 and 21. And they fall into that category, and they need you to be what they view you as, that strong role model, that strong person, that mom, you know, that they know is really strong.
And the aftermath of this, you say your singing career has caved in. You were going to be on Celebrity Apprentice. NBC pulled that deal. You can't get a job even though you have a real estate certificate. Charities don't want to work with you. You just kind of become a pariah.
Yeah. So I fit into this group of, I'm not quite a celebrity where I can go and get work because, you know, I'm kind of being condemned. And then I can't just be a normal person and go out and get a job in real estate because people view my past, you know, how they view it. Not
so it didn't help your life.
No.
and once you cross that line, then it's difficult to come back. So we talking you out of this?
Yeah.
How are we doing?
You're doing pretty good.
You need some advice financially. And I'm going to get that for you. I'm going to get you a financial advisor that's going to sit down and tell you how to navigate this foreclosure if it's coming, how to deal with this credit card debt, how to talk about these things so you can minimize the pressure, but then deal with reality. And if it means that you have to live in a less grand fashion than you are now, if you still have yourself and you still have your family and you still have your daughter, is there anybody in this room that hadn't been poor? Is there anybody in this room that hasn't worried about where the next job is going to be or being able to meet all of your bills? I mean, when Robin and I got married, if it hadn't been for 2-for-1 burger bucks, one of us would have starved. It probably would have been me. She's a chowhound. But I mean, seriously, our first apartment was like, what, $120 a month or something?
120.
You know, you couldn't swing a cat in there, but we were happy. I mean, can we cross escort off the list?
Yes. I will come up there with a BB gun and shoot your ass if you don't.
We cross that off the list? All right, we'll be right back. Well, I want to thank all of my guests today, and thanks to my expert PR powerhouse and owner of People's Revolution, Kelly Cutrone. Go out and buy her book. If you have to cry, go outside, which is a really good message. And as I say, Jen, very seriously, I want to get you some help to deal with the financial crisis that you're in now so you can get that managed as well as possible. And then we need to talk about what to do to, as you say, if it's downsizing, it's realigning, it's readjusting. But the main thing you want to do is hang in, because, you know, I tell people that are in financial crisis right now that it's kind of like being lost at sea. You know, your boat sinks and you're out there hanging on to a life preserver. Help's coming. The question is, will you be afloat when they get there? I mean, this will turn around. There's a cyclical nature of the economy. It will turn around. The question is, will you be there when it does? And I don't mean just financially. I mean, will you have lost yourself in the process? Will you have made decisions that you can't take back? And this can be a teachable moment for your children and for every kid in America. It's not always consumption. Sometimes it's contribution. And kids need to learn that as well. Thanks for being here today. So long.
So it's been 5 days, and I have decided to take the help that Dr. Phil has offered me. I have so many emotions running through me right now. I'm very happy, but I'm also scared, nervous. I'm sad to be leaving my family, but I know it's for the best, and that's why I can't wait. I can't wait to be able to come home to my family and just be me again, for my children and for my husband and for myself. I'm just so thankful, Dr. Phil, for this help. Thank you so much for everything.
We would like to thank Dr. Michael Barrett and the staff of the Center for Change in Orem, Utah, for the treatment Jennifer is receiving there since deciding to seek help for her illness. Now, Center for Change is one of the most reputable eating disorder facilities in the country. Thanks for being here. So long.
Bounce, bounce. All the girlies bounce. Take them to my house. Turn the party out. Bounce, bounce, bounce. All the girlies bounce. Take them to my house. Turn the party out.
You warned me 1,000 times. Memories can kill ya, but I didn't hear ya. I thought that I could fly, but woke up on the asphalt. I swear there was the last time. I've always been naive. Call it.
You know we gon' get it. Ooh, you know we gon' get it. Ooh, you know we gon' get it. Every day and night, that's right. Ooh, you know we gon' get it. Ooh, you know we gon' get it. Ooh, you know we gon' get it. Every day and night.
You should run, run, run. All is said and done. Mama, please.